time. Something has got to happen because we can no longer go down the path that we're going down. This country won't last another 6 months. This country won't last another 12 months if something doesn't happen. So it's time to flip the switch. It's time to get involved. It's time to move the line forward. And if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So I don't care what flip the switch is. I don't care if that means that all of this nonsense is nonsense, or if some of it's true. All right. Good evening, Warriors, World Patriots, my fellow Americans. My name is Mike. I'm the host of Liberty Warrior. Give me liberty or give me death. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. Welcome to this Tuesday evening, December the 28th, 2021. How y'all doing this week? We got a good start to our week yesterday, kind of rolling in today. Lots of stuff to get done after the holidays. I am sure you guys are also probably tied up with some loose ends from the holidays. I got to ask a question real quick. In the chat, can you guys give me a 1 for anybody who's already taken down their Christmas tree? I'm just curious how many people, as soon as Christmas is over, the tree comes down. So if you are that type of person that the day after Christmas, your tree comes down, goes back in the box, or it goes out by the curb, whether you have a real tree or a fake tree. Do you guys take that down right away? You guys get that out there? Give me a number 3 if you guys like leaving it up till after New Year's, because I know my mom sometimes does that. I know some people do that. So, are you one of those people who like to leave the tree up until after New Year's? Give me a 3 in chat if that's the case. Me, um, I was looking at it today. I was kind of thinking, Christmas is over. I'm ready to take it down, but I got a lot going on, so I didn't really worry about it. But I don't know. Maybe sometime here in the next few days, maybe I will. Maybe I'll wait until after New Year's. So here's another question for you: how many procrastinators out there leave the tree up, and if it's a real one, maybe till it's dead? Like, give me a 7 in the chat if you've left your tree up so long that the needles are turning brown and falling off the limbs, and it's way past the 1st of January before you finally decide to take the tree down. Anybody out there that big of a procrastinator? Anybody out there got a 7 in chat to where they have left the tree up so long that it's now become a fire hazard? Um, I can probably say that's happened to me at least once. At least once. I probably left the tree up so long, it was becoming a fire hazard. So, just curious on how you guys roll too. All right, we got Captain Finger joining us this evening. I see Jeff be in the chat too. I'll shoot him an email real quick with the link if he wants to join us tonight. So give me just a second. I'll do that. If he wants to, he's welcome to. Because tonight's topic, we're going to hit a lot of things. It'd be a good topic for Jeff to join us tonight with, because I'm going to ask some questions. Because I'd like to know some answers, and there may not be answers to my questions. I don't know. But tonight's topic is both sides spin the truth. So you're well aware of what's in the news. I hit the headlines every morning here at LWN at noon Eastern, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And some things for the last couple of days have popped up that I wanted to talk about with Shane. Like I said, Jeff's welcome to join us if he wants to come up here, because some of this stuff, I seen some comments as the intro was playing that there's a lot of people out there that are just exhausted. They're tired. Maybe a few of you feel like you want to throw the towel in on this whole thing. I can tell you this: I go through those same emotions. Okay, I go through the same emotions. Um, you can just ask Jeff B, and you can ask Shane. I'm always asking questions, constantly asking questions, questions after questions after questions, running scenarios through our heads. Go ahead there, Shane.
Did you mean to send that link to me again, or did you
Oh,
just send it to the wrong person?
I sent it to the wrong person. I meant to send it to Jeff. Let me. Thanks.
I kind of figured that happened.
All right, hold on. I'll send it to Jeff. Typed in the wrong one there. All right.
Yeah, J
There
and
we
S
go.
is a long way away on the alphabet scale. I don't know.
I have a lot going on in my head tonight. So, and just watching the chat and a few people talk about this tonight, how they're just tired, Shane, and you and I, Patriot missile. Yeah, I seen that. How you and I go back and forth on this daily, and every time I talk to Jeff B, I'm always kind of tossing things back and forth with him and trying to put this all together and find out what's reality and what's not. So I watched news clippings for the last 2 days about certain things that have been said in the last it was over Christmas vacation. So let's just dive right into it. I did email Jeff B the link. Again, if he wants to join us, he's welcome to, and he can join in the conversation. So let's start off with both sides spin the truth. And where I want to start off with that, Shane, is let's talk about Jared the father from Oregon, who said that he calls in to NORAD every Christmas with his kids, and this time he called in, the operator answered, and much to his surprise, said that the First Lady of the United States was taking live calls. And so he said, "Oh, what the heck? Yeah, I'll jump on the phone with him." So young Jared jumps on the phone. Now I call him young, but he's probably, I don't know, maybe mid-30s, and well, he's younger than I am. So he jumps on the phone and starts having a conversation with the prez and with the first lady. And at the end of the conversation, he says those most famous words that have come to be quite famous in the last probably 4 to 5 weeks, which is "Let's go, Brandon." And the look on Jill's face, and then Biden himself repeats it and says, what does he say? Something like, "Yeah, I agree. Let's go, Brandon." It's a laughable moment. Okay. There's some humor in it. Do I think that do I think that
You just found time to get us taken down, aren't you?
I'm trying.
You're doing a good job.
Do I think old Puddin' Pop was told to say that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That was a gaffe. That was old Puddin' Pop. He's not really there anyway. He's doing his best, but it's not that good. So when he threw that out there at him and he repeated it, I think it was definitely a oops moment for Puddin' Pop. Welcome, Jeff B. How are you? You there, Jeff? Anyway, so I wanted to start off with that, Shane, and talk about that for a minute, because Jared then jumped over to the war room with Steve Bannon and did an interview over there. So we'll get to that next. But your thoughts on the conversation with the White House?
It's even dumbfounding to me that he can't be that far gone, can he? No Puddin' Pop. That's what I'm like.
Are you asking me that question? Is that a question for me?
I'm just asking it to myself. Can you be that far gone where you would repeat something like that, knowingly what it means? Or maybe he forgot what it meant already. Hell, who knows?
Well, okay, let me throw it to you this way. We all know that he probably carries around a little earpiece in his ear. Would you agree with that?
You would hope.
Okay. Would you agree that in that earpiece, they probably tell him a lot of times what to say?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this comes over the speakers because it was a call in, and the gentleman says, "Let's go, you know who," and he goes, "Yeah, I agree. Let's," and he repeats it. He's so used to repeating stuff. You don't think that was possibility?
Well, yeah, he's had 60 years of repeating everybody else's stuff. So, I mean, he's pretty good at it.
Absolutely. How you doing this evening, Jeff?
I decided to do a punk fake.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we seen that the other day. You did a good job on that one.
Yeah, wasn't that great?
Yeah, you was on my shit list for a day or two.
So let me catch you up to speed real quick, Jeff, and what the topic of tonight was and kind of the direction we were going to go, but who knows where we're going to end up. Both sides spin the truth, and so we started the conversation off with Jared, from the father from Oregon there, who called into the White House and
Yeah.
made the famous statement. And so we're going to travel from there over to Steve Bannon here in a second and talk about the war room. He was on there, I believe it was yesterday, and did an interview with Steve Bannon. But your thoughts on the phone call to the White House?
But whatever happened to the 30-second delay?
Yeah, that's. You would think that would be a very, very dangerous step for them to take live calls with Puddin' Pop and not have it either pre-recorded, because remember all the pre-records that he's done. Lots of pre-records. He rarely does things that are live without um, talking points and the little earpiece in there, and then he doesn't take any live questions. As soon as he's done with his statement, he turns stage left and he walks off, and he doesn't stop for hardly any questions at all. I think he's maybe turned around one time and responded, and then he said, "Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for that." So yeah, it's pretty rare.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're going to go with the mental decline or whatever, you would think that would be one of the things that the White House staff would make sure was in play. But maybe they didn't, because they knew they were dealing with the most popular president ever elected into office.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I can tell you, folks, that it was live. It was live. Even the young man said it was live. I don't see anybody out there disputing that it was not live. He was even shocked when he called in that he said after he made the statement is when his phone hung up immediately after that. And then, like you, Jeff, he expected there to be some type of editing done, right? Your 30-second delay or whatever. He said after he got off the phone and checked it out again that he was shocked to see himself on TV actually making that statement, and then on top of it, Puddin' Pop repeated it.
Right. Right.
Well, he said all the years he's called in before, it's usually an answering service. Most times, an answering service that picks up, not, the first lady or whoever picked the thing up.
Yeah, normally they selectively pick those people who talk. Like they go through some type of screening.
Correct. You would almost have to say, and I'm going to say this, that they actually have their own people call in. Would you dispute that they wouldn't have some of their own staffers who have kids or something that are part of the administration call in to make it a warm and inviting conversation? Wouldn't you think that would be more along the lines of what they would accept? And I'm saying this for Democrat or Republican, any president, it doesn't matter who it is, but to just take a live call like we do here on this show and have no idea who's going to show up, don't you think that's a pretty dangerous thing for them to do?
Well, we know when you start live callers, your fingers on the hang up button like a trigger finger. So just multiply that by a scale of 5,000.
Yeah. Every time I get a caller that calls in, that could cause issues, or somebody that I've never had call into the show before, you're correct. My finger is on the eject button as soon as anything comes out of their mouth or anything that they do. I won't even waste the time with them. It's see you later. So you would think, yeah, you're right. In that situation, that should have been like high alert.
Well, and you would think that if it was so disparaging that they would have got rid of it and not replay it.
Now it's pretty much viral at this point. So let's hop over to the war room. Let's hop over to Steve Bannon, and he had Jared on there. I believe it was yesterday. They talked about it a little bit more. And where I wanted to go with this, I'm glad that you called in, Jeff, because there's going to be some questions I want to ask here. And so starting off, he makes the statement, and some of these words we obviously can't say on YouTube or they take us down. But he makes the statement that at first he called in, it was supposed to be, just a regular call, and then when that thought popped in his head to make that statement, it was kind of in a joking manner, and they even laughed about it after they got off the phone. But then he went into more detail to say, and this is where we got to be cautious about what we say, that T is still his president, and that we all know, and this is his quote, we all know that what happened in November was taken from us, and he should still be there. So that kind of goes from joke to a little more of a serious topic,
Right.
which kind of takes us to some of the hard questions, because like I said, a lot of these people are feeling the pain tonight, and we didn't get the Christmas present, right? We were told everybody was going to be extremely happy this Christmas. It was even said the whole world. So I know a lot of people are on the edge of their chairs Christmas Eve, all day Christmas, waiting for this gift to happen. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't think there was any gift delivered, unless I am mistaken on that. You have anything that you've seen or heard, Jeff?
Uh, well, there were two anomalies that happened today that are definitely odd. Uh, Two brand new planes out of sequence went from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Gitmo. No trials going on right now. Uh, these planes wouldn't be indicative of troop rotations. So that's an oddity. Um, the only other thing I can say is TikTok 45, TikTok,
Yeah,
because people are getting impatient now. I'm saying, well, you know, Trump really meant the Christmas on the Julian calendar. Bullshit. You know, I have to raise the bullshit flag on that one. Um, hey, you know, I'm still a firm believer. If these people come out and said what they said, and they uh, they have no fruits on the tree, all the rest of them can be tried for treason just as well, because the clock's ticking.
yeah. You have anything you'd like to add there, Shane?
Like I said, it's I watched an interview the other day with somebody that used to work with Trump, and they said the same thing. They said, "Don't you think that Mr. T knows that people are starting to give up on him?" They go, "Yeah, he does know this." Well, hello, then it's time to start showing something other than just bragging about the 4 years how good everything was. Well, that's great, fine and dandy, but we're not living then now. That time has
Yeah.
come and gone. We're here
Yeah.
now. We can do something now.
Well, let me. I'll come back to you, Shane, on that, because I want to dive a little deeper in that. But let's touch on the Julian calendar real quick. I want to get Jeff's thoughts on this, because some people out there have said we're going the Julian calendar, which some date in October was supposed to fall back 10 days. Thank goodness for that, because I didn't have to have another birthday. So it happened to be in the same month of my birthday. And I would have had my birthday twice. That didn't happen. I didn't see anywhere in the world where anybody was following that theory anywhere, unless either Jeff or Shane can prove me wrong on that and say, oh, yes, France was following it, and Italy and all these other places. And I didn't see anybody turn the clock back 10 days. And so now we're supposed to wait until, I guess, January 7th or something. That's the real date in Christmas. Um, it's getting real old.
Well, you remember
Yeah.
that other. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, you remember as a kid walking down, you kick the can, and the whole time you're going down the road.
Yeah.
It was something to do. Starting to feel a lot like that for the last year.
Well, yeah, there's definitely no doubt. Did you guys see the Christmas video clip from ITV4 with the news broadcaster?
No, I have not.
So here's another what the hell just happened. So I'm watching Russia 24. I think it was Russia 24. It might have been Moscow 24. And they showed a clip from a news anchor that was live on air on ITV4 on Christmas Day. And this broad announces the Pope's death live on TV. And then says, oh, wait, to the next story. How do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know. A lot of irregular things I've seen in the news. Some of it makes you think, is it all staged? I don't know. I reported today on some things that Biden had said and done. And even in the article, it said, and quote, I don't have it in front of me, but it said that where he was, I think it was actually the Christmas special that he did where Jared had called in. It said that it was an artificial set, is what it said in the newspaper. Artificial set. So I ask you this: why? And I'm not saying because this is a movie or any of that crap. I'm just saying, why wouldn't you have this in the White House? Why would it be on an artificial set? That confuses me. It doesn't confuse me to the point of where I think that this is happening in Georgia or wherever they say the fake White House is. I don't buy that anymore. I'm just curious of why would they not have it in the White House?
If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, and more likely I am, but didn't previous presidents do the Christmas phone call from the Oval Office from the Resolute desk?
Well, there's a difference between a Christmas call and calling NORAD to find out where Santa is. That's what this Jared character was doing. He calls NORAD every year, him and his kids, and calls in because then they get updates on Santa from the people that answer the phone, and it's just something that they've been doing for years.
Right.
But for some reason, we got Chris Kringle and old lady Wrinkle there to answer the phone.
So out of the blue, NORAD decides, or the White House decides to tie in with NORAD. Well, maybe because no one was going to call the White House for Christmas.
Maybe.
I don't know. There's something there. I mean, just it could be something that, shits and giggles they try. But to me, the whole thing smells like a setup. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a chicken, right?
Yeah, it could be a chicken. So here's something I'll throw at both of you gentlemen, and then I'm going to just step back and let you speak. To touch on what Shane was saying and what you've been saying for a while, Jeff, which is a lot of people are starting to lose faith. They're starting to lose faith in T himself. Shane just made the statement that some of his staff has been told that, and they made the statement, yes, he knows this. So let me throw this at you guys, and then I'm going to just step back. He has said, we have it all. We have everything that we need. We caught him. The Pillow Man has said the same thing. The Pillow Man has had his little get-togethers where he shows all this proof, and this is gonna take us into the next section, which is going to be November of 2020. I told you guys that I watch a show called Yellowstone with Kevin Costner. They have a prelude to it that just came out last week. We're on episode 3. The guest appearance of Tom Hanks made it on this prelude. No, it wasn't a clone. No, it wasn't a mask. It was Hanks. I don't believe this. He's playing a part. He was in this video. He was in this show for a total of about 2 minutes. So don't try to sell me on this as a clone, because that's a bunch of crap. Yes, 1883. So there's Hanks, which I don't know. He's been arrested. He died of the sickness. He's been executed probably 2 times less than Hillary. He's been in Gitmo, and then Hillary has made a statement that she's thinking that she's going to throw her name in the hat for the 2024 election. Marco Rubio, I've heard whispers that he might throw his name in the hat for 2024. So I guess my question is, with all these other things that we're starting to see pop up, isn't this probably the worst movie you've ever seen if people are still believing that that's what we're doing? We're watching a movie right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, I've said this before. They said at the end of this, some of these politicians wouldn't be able to walk down the street. There may be a Trump that won't be able to walk down the street.
I think he's starting to lose. I think he's starting to lose a lot of support. And if you would have said, let's back up 6 months ago, and let's say 6 months ago we all said, okay, we're stuck with what we got. T's got to look at 2024. I would have said 6 months ago, he's got all the support there he'd ever need to get reelected. But now we fast forward to current today, and you start looking at things that haven't come to fruition, things that haven't materialized, statements made that we have them all, but nothing's happened. I would say his support is starting to drop, which maybe that's why Marco Rubio is making a move to throw his name in the hat for 2024. Just my observation. I could be 100% wrong, but I do believe that there are a lot of people that are looking at this through different lenses now, saying, I just can't support this any longer. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I got one. Here's what I'd like to throw out there. Why can't they show us something? Okay. We had Pillow Dude can't get into the Supreme Court, so he can't prove anything. Okay. Why, I don't know, but they won't even let him in the doors to try to prove anything. So that's thrown out the window. Why can't somebody show something? There's lots of TV cameras out there, boys and girls. You do not have to go to the Supreme Court to show proof. Get on TV and physically show us something, anything. I don't care if it's a picture of your mother holding a pillow. Show us something that gives us proof that we can move forward on instead of playing this game of limbo, because we're all losing. We suck at limbo, every one of us. So that game of limbo is over. We need to get some kind of proof, or we're going to have to accept what it is. Grit our teeth and do like D-Dog says to do. Break out the old mighty pen and spew some ink.
Yeah, that would work, but the American people are too lazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that still won't do what needs to be done
Here's the deal:
to move the line forward.
When people realize, if people realize, and let's say we all hypothetically come to this epiphany and realize he ain't coming back, I'm gonna tell you what, easy people, I guarantee we'll start learning how to push a pin, or they're going to have to take what's coming to them. And I don't think anybody that listens to us or anybody else wouldn't be willing to pick up a pen, make a phone call, figure out what they need to do.
You know, Shane, in a way I agree with you, but most, I would say 80, and that's being generous, 80% of the American people, probably close to 97% of the American people, will not do a damn thing till it hits home. And then for the first 60 to 90 days, all they're going to do is whine and bitch.
Well, boys and girls, it has hit home. It's on American soil. It's here. This ain't somewhere else. We're not watching on TV about Australia. We're not watching it in Afghanistan. We're not watching it in Europe, Russia, UK, China. It's right here. United States of America. Maybe it'd be time for us to get off our asses and do something.
Yeah, but you know, and then you look at the other side of the coin. You know, you have these people on the other side that are just rubbing their hands together and can't wait for everybody to be wrong. But guess what? The same shit that's going to affect you, or that's going to affect us, is going to affect you too. So sit back and enjoy the censorship, because if we're wrong, you think it's bad now, you just wait.
Yeah. Let's touch on another part of this subject, which Shane had brought up. The things that happened in November. So I'm going to give you guys a list of things, and then we can talk about it. I'm in the camp that I have to see proof. And I'm going to go into detail about this subject. So what happened in November? We heard that there was a truck that left New York. There was no chain of custody. It showed up in Pennsylvania, and things were offloaded. We heard that certain boxes that received those little paper notes that you fill out your selection and put them in the box, they were stuffed. We heard that machines, which I still believe the machines were definitely manipulated. Maricopa County, Arizona was a big deal. They had multiple audits. The last one in particular was done by Cyber Ninjas, and they had all this proof. Pillow Man himself took that and other stuff and had a big to do about it, where he showed numbers and calculations that they found. They also claimed that there were servers that were retrieved from Germany, and a whole bunch of host of other things that has been going around now for over a year. And to this day, unless I am mistaken, I have seen zero proof of any of that other than what I seen on Pillowman's 2 episodes. And then Pillowman has taken that to the Supreme Court. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shane. I think you told me 2 times and was denied 2 times. CNN put out a video today or yesterday that I watched where they are claiming that this Let's Go Mr. B FJB is a cancer. So they're grouping us all up, and we still have political prisoners from the 6th of January that are still in prison right now. So I guess where I'm going with this is, if they have it, then why in the hell will they not show it? Why in the hell will the Supreme Court not accept it? Is our system so corrupt that they won't allow this to be shown? I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is.
Well, one, I
Go ahead,
think
Jim.
you are correct. The system is corrupt. I mean, there is 100% no doubt about it that the whole thing is corrupt. And here's, and what you got to think, and this is a way I just have to look at things. Only believe what you can see. Okay? You know, Hillary's been dead 12 times. All these actors and actresses have been rounded up because they all drink blood. The Pope is dead, but shit, maybe he is after this ITV4 interview. But here's something that we can prove, nobody can dispute beyond a shadow of a doubt, that makes no sense. Why in the hell would Joe Biden fall up the stairs of Air Force One 3 times and not one damn Secret Service agent come to his aid? Not one. And then during that Christmas speech, I couldn't believe it when I seen it, but here we go, and I'm going to talk about these damn ears again. I took 2 pictures, put them on Telegram. His right side of his head had an attached earlobe, and the left side had a detached earlobe. And I go back to a video a week ago, and both earlobes were attached. That's something we can prove, because we seen it on TV, so it has to be the truth. So that's something we can prove. You know, another thing we can prove is, why hasn't Biden given any type of press conference in the press room that I've seen? None of it makes any sense. I mean, when Donald John Trump, when Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter walked out of the White House to get on Marine One, there was always a press pool there, always a gaggle, videotaping it for the National Archives. Why is it all of a sudden now, when Marine One lands on the lawn of the White House, there's no video? And if there is, there's no questions that I've seen. Of course, I haven't been looking either. So I'm sure someone's going to say, oh, nope, it was on yesterday. Very well could have been. But it's not horrific like it has been in the past. Yeah, those are things we can prove. Now, all this other craziness, but here's the other weird thing. Why in the hell was 45 giving a speech on January 6th? Who gives a shit about January 6th? There was never an investigation done. To me, that whole thing smelled of a cover, or some type of operation. But then as soon as 45 comes out and says, oh, I'm doing a speech, 2 hours later, the White House says, oh, by the way, the president's going to do a speech from the White House. The fuck are you guys going to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, I admit that there's a lot of strange
Oh,
things going on.
yeah. And
But
Mary just
are we being
brought it up.
snowed? Yeah, are we
Well,
being snowed?
well, Mary just brought it up. Wait, we're in the middle of a pandemic and you have fucking dancing nurses at the White House?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
They were nurses. It's okay.
And
Right.
they were fully everything.
Well,
They were fully wearing the diapers on their faces. They were fully everything. So that means that was good to go.
Weren't they even wearing
so,
gloves?
oh, well, I'm sure they were. Maybe they should have been wearing 4 and 5 masks. But here's the other thing. So, over half of the Cleveland Browns roster comes up sick with this illness. And I don't know if I read it right, heard it wrong, but now the NFL is going to change the way they do testing because it costs them too much money. Not the test, not having football teams. So are we really in a damn pandemic or are we not?
Um, so here's something. Here's something that was sent to me by a friend, and I really think this kind of just sums it all up. To be honest with you, here's a quote: "If someone says it's raining and another person says it's dry, it's not your job to quote them both. It's your job to look out the frickin' window and find out which one is true." I kind of like that.
Yeah,
Kind of like that
yeah.
because that's kind of where we're at right now, right? One side's telling us this, one side's telling us that, and it's really up to us to find out which one is real. It's not our job to quote them both. So let's just for 1 second, let's say some of the stuff that I'm saying is true, and a lot of these things are not going to happen. Let's say January rolls around, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever date is the next goalpost for some of these people that keep pushing it back. That doesn't happen. Then they push it into February. Well, it's the ex Julian calendar from wherever, and so you gotta fast forward some more and move the goalpost another time, and it's now the Egyptian calendar. He meant the Egyptian calendar, and then he meant the Maya calendar, and now we're into March and April. Where does that leave us, guys? Seriously, me, you kind of can tell where I'm sitting already. I think I've had my gut full of it all. I think Trump realizes this. I think he, in my opinion, I think he at this point has got to focus on 2024, and I think he's doing that behind the scenes. Um, I think I think we're stuck with what we got, and I think the Democratic Party knows that old Puddin' Pop, he can't last 4 years, let alone 8. So they're already, in my opinion, putting strategies out there on who's going to pick up the torch in 2024 and go with it because they already know Kamala can't do it. They know she's hated by everybody. Nobody likes her. So what are they going to do? Are they going to throw old Hillary back in there for a third, fourth, fifth time? That, in my opinion, her popularity is about neck and neck with old Hills Up. So I don't think that's a good plan on their part. Will they throw old Bernie back in there again? Let him run for a third time. Maybe like Biden, a third time's a charm for Bernie.
Well, that way they can just screw him over again.
They're not going to let him win. I don't know. There comes a time where everybody's going to go, okay, hey, whatever happens, happens. We've got to move forward with what we do, whether it's going to be keep people calm and try to start getting them down the right path. Let's get with our sheriffs. Let's do the right thing. And if something great comes along in a month or 2 or 3 or 5, 10, 20, whatever, great. That's good for us. But if not, at least we're moving forward. We're not sitting here just sitting on our hands waiting for something to happen. Let's start pushing our pins. Let's start getting out there.
I'm done waiting for something to happen. I'm done. I'm done hoping something is gonna happen. I have been for quite a while. I'm trying to get involved in every level that I can here locally and across this country with every person out there that wants to get involved with their sheriffs and everything else. So let me ask this hard question tonight. I already see some people disliking my questions tonight, and that's okay. People can love to hate me. I'm all right with that. But I'm also trying to ask real questions. I'm trying to ask real questions and not this other nonsense.
Well, and I don't think anybody here is trying to give up, especially on the panel. It's just we're saying, hey, we've got to change kind of the way we do things because we all been just sitting here and we're still in the same boat we was when we started this 9 months ago. So maybe we need to do something a little different.
Maybe we need to look. Maybe we need to look at it a little different. But I'm gonna ask this question. Do you believe that the military is in any way, shape, or form in control of this situation?
Well, here's the thing with the military. If you go to the Constitution now, I know that 10 square miles has trampled all over this Constitution. None of them up there believe in it. That piece of parchment is out the window to them. But if you'll read that piece of parchment, there's not supposed to be any military actions actually taking on U.S. soil. Now, that ain't saying if it says U.S. soil, I still think we got a way out there because D.C. is not U.S. soil. It's sovereign land. It's British run. It's British controlled. So I think we could actually get away with it in D.C. It couldn't be in the rest of the United States if you go by the Constitution. Now, that's my way of thinking. Now, D-Dog's probably hearing this, probably want to come up here and slap the shit out of me. But that's my way of thinking.
I'll let Jeff have an opportunity to answer that question too. Jeff, in any way, shape, or form, do you still think that the military may be in charge or have something to do with what's going on?
If I were to sit back and look at the whole big picture, I can definitively, my belief is yes. Something, don't know what, but something is definitely awry. And with everything that we see, don't see, all the weird military traffic, I have, look, if I'm not right, we're screwed. And come 2024, Trump won't be able to run for dog catcher. I could get more votes from another channel than he would get.
This is what I noticed, Jeff, Shane. This is what I noticed. I'm asking the hard questions tonight. I know a lot of people don't want me to, but that's all right. I got to ask them because I want people to kind of see where we're at. Even if Jeff is right, I still want people to kind of wake up and see where we're at right now. Okay. So I'm asking these questions for a reason. We talked about this off air. I told you people were going to love to hate me, and they are, and that's all right. But this is what I saw when I asked the question. When I asked the question to both of you gentlemen, do you guys believe that the military could possibly still have control over this situation? Do you know what I saw in the chat? I saw in the chat about a 50-50 of people saying yes and people saying no. You rewind this 4 months ago, and I guarantee you almost every person in that chat would have said yes.
Yeah.
Are you guys feeling me now? Are you guys listening to me tonight? Are you guys feeling what I'm saying? 50% of you watching tonight, or 50% of you in the chat, because not everybody gets in the chat, you're now thinking that this may not be what you thought it was. I know that's a hard pill for some people to swallow. It's a hard one for me to swallow. But I have to look at it. I have to say, hey, all this stuff that they said was going to happen, I don't see it. I don't see the proof. I don't see we got it all. I don't see it. Maricopa County, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Now that doesn't mean that hopefully I can eat these words and all of a sudden something does happen, and that proof comes out from November and says, here you go. You wanted it, here it is. Here it is. But as of right now, I'm looking out the window and I see what I see. Whether it be rain or dry, I see what I see. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, and here's another thing that you have to look at too, Mike. If you roll the clock back 6 months ago, look how many shows like this were out there, and look at some of those shows where they had thousands of followers, thousands of people watching them. And every time they put something out or they regurgitated something from Restore Republic or whatever, and none of that stuff came true, people started to fall off to the wayside, thinking, okay, well, you didn't get this right, didn't get this right. Now it's different when you not necessarily predict, or you theorize something that may take place based on the events that are happening. But when you come out and you say JFK Jr. is going to be in Dallas or whatever, and if people are listening to these people uh, are still listening to them, uh, then that's on you. Uh, some people don't, you know, like the hard facts of it. Now, I still truly believe there's something going on. I am pretty positive, but do I know probably 1% of anything? Absolutely not. But just by putting pieces of the puzzle together, something's afoot. Uh, hey, I want that message you put up there. Are your mods checking for passports to make sure that they're all properly jabbed and everything? Because don't they have to show those now?
That one's been checked a bunch, I promise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Jeff, I want to add to what you were saying real quick before Mike throws another curveball at us, being the devil's advocate and all he is. Anyway, I'm not going to disagree with what you're saying, Jeff, 100%, because I don't want to give up on the thought of great things happening. So that's me. I just don't want to. Now, I do notice a lot of things that are not what you in the day-to-day life as an administration. It is completely on its head right now. So I do see weird things going on. But that still doesn't lead me down the path to where I'm just going to stay sitting on my hands either, because I was told by my stepdad that raised me, always hope for the best and expect the worst. And, so I'm hoping for the best, but
Right.
I expect, so I'm going to have to, do what I have to do to make me feel better that I'm actually moving forward. No matter which way this goes, I want to make sure that I'm prepared somehow. What that means, I don't know yet. I'm still working on that in my mind. So
Right.
anyway, I just want to throw that out there.
I'm gonna give the two of you a little more time to throw things out there before I answer this question. This is Shepherd of the Force. I think it's a fair question for me, and I will answer it. But I would like to give you guys a little more time here to go back and forth before I do, because when I start, I won't be able to stop till I'm finished. So um, I think it's an important conversation we need to be having. That's why I'm having it. That's why I'm throwing these things out here. Is I want to plant the seed of reality into people. What that reality uh, may blossom into, I don't know. It just doesn't. It's not feeling good right now. So um, a lot of stuff out there. Jeff is right. 6 months ago there was a lot of channels out there claiming all this stuff, putting a lot of stuff out there. Um, and then a bunch of repeats. And I think it definitely uh, would drive people in a certain direction. And now I think a lot of that stuff is coming to an end. And it's really, I think it can be devastating if a lot of this stuff doesn't happen. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, the country as we know it, or we did know it, is gone. You better, if none of this is true, you better face that reality. Censorship is in. If they don't like your speech, they take you down. Uh, if you don't like a personal opinion of somebody, you shut them down. Uh, the news isn't going to report the news. It's going to be like Pravda in the Soviet days. Get used to it, you know, and we're going to have to find a lot of jobs, especially for all your trolls tonight. They ain't going to have nothing to talk about because your channel won't be here. That's a reality.
Yeah, if they don't have anything to talk about, then I guess their day is over too. But I got plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
There's
Well, that's
there's
if you have a platform.
there's a lot out there that still needs to be done. I'm not giving up. I'm not quitting. Um, it's just that my strategy is definitely I'm going to be looking at it at a different angle, and I've been saying it for months. To be honest with you, months I've been saying this, that we got to get involved. We got to get involved in our local levels. We've had D-Dog on here. We've had some great guests on here talking about how to get involved and how to make a difference. We've had candidates on here. We've given them airtime to showcase what they're all about. So I've made the move, and I've been pushing the move, just trying to get a few more people to maybe see that is the action that needs to be taken, and wake up a little bit more.
Well, look at it this way. This is what we should have been doing all along. We should have never let it get to this point to begin with, and we did. The American people got lazy, and I'm not going to blame any one person because we all did. But we should have had our thumb on that government this whole time, and we didn't. Since 1970 or even before, we should have had our thumb on them, making sure they're doing the right thing. And we didn't.
Yep.
This has been handed to us generation after generation. We've just slowly let it drift away, and we thought, well, this is how it's always done. No, it may have been, but this is not how it's supposed to be done. And that's the difference. We're the only ones. If we don't take it back now, there is no taking it back because we're fixing to become socialists.
I agree with that, Shane. Jeff B. And then
Oh,
I'll answer this question after you, Jeff.
it ain't going to be socialism. It's going to be downright communism. I mean, hey, but if there was no interference, if there none of that is true, how do you explain the most popular president in the history of this country? Unless the American people were stupid and they voted for a particular person because they didn't like another person's mean tweets. Well, if that's the case, you got what you deserved.
Yeah, I'm ready to answer the question because I think everybody has a right to what I think. I try to put it out there. I feel like I do put it out there, and maybe some people just aren't listening. Um, so to answer your question, Shepherd of the Forest, am I just playing devil's advocate for tonight? Absolutely 100%. I'm definitely playing devil's advocate because, like I told Shane before the show, I didn't get a chance to talk to Jeff B. But before the show, I told him there are questions that need to be asked because there's certain responses that I want to get. So yes, I am playing devil's advocate, but in the same time, what is my true opinion? Well, without saying some cuss words and dropping the F bomb, I think we're in a world of hurt. I think Trump did us a good job for 4 years. I think that what happened in November, man, I just don't see the facts. I don't see the proof. Do I feel like something happened in November? Yes, I do. But until they can provide that to me, I can't just go off a feeling. I can't get involved in a situation where I'm pushing a movement forward off a feeling. Because feeling doesn't do it. Feelings don't hold up in court. What do I think about the current administration? I think it's an absolute shit show. If you want to know the truth, I think you all know that about me. I think you all know and feel the same way. I do think that they're there, unfortunately. Is there something that we can do about it? Yeah, we got to yell at the top of our lungs. We got to be heard. We got to get the pen and the paper involved. We got to show up and do our part and do our job. Am I disappointed? Not really. I never I bought into this whole scenario right out the gate that that this was all going to turn around because people told us it was going to turn around. But then after a long time wore on, I've always kind of just started really looking at it and saying, this stuff isn't adding up. But is the military involved? Maybe at some levels. I just don't know. I don't know if they got enough. I don't know if they can really pull that lever and come sweeping in and take everything over. I don't honestly, to be honest, I don't know. So I'm at a fork in the road for myself personally, not for you watching, not for you listening. It doesn't have anything to do with Shane, doesn't have anything to do with Jeff B or anyone else in my circle. I'm at a crossroads where I have to realize, am I going to actually get involved and do something? And that answer I answered months ago. Yes, I am. I am doing everything that I can to educate myself and to take this country back. Because honestly, if we don't, like Jeff and Shane both said, folks, we're headed down a road that if you keep want to wear these blinders, there ain't going to be anything left to save. Nothing. And it's going to get to a point where we can't save it. And like Shane says, here comes socialism. But like Jeff followed up with, welcome to full-blown communism. And it isn't on the doorstep. It's coming down the hall. You wanted my opinion. There it is. Yes, I'm playing the devil's advocate, but I am very, very concerned at this moment that we got to make some changes, and we have to make the changes. Nobody's going to do it for us. Shane, your thoughts?
Well, my thought is the problem is he put too much distance from the time he left office till now. He's left too much distance with no proof, and distance causes doubt. And you know what doubt leads to? Insecurity, fear, the feeling of failure, and then it turns into hate, and then it gets directed at the person that supposedly caused it. Devil Dog just said in the chat a minute ago, he said, T was here, did a great job, opened a lot of eyes. He did his job. Now it's our turn to do our job and take the country back. So I like that.
I want to be clear. I don't fear anything. I don't fear this. I look at it as this. It's a new challenge for me. I like to be challenged. I think we grow when we are challenged. I think if we just stay in a cesspool of just feeling like somebody's going to do it for you, there's no personal growth there. So for me, this challenge, I look forward to it, just like I do any challenge. And this comment here, do we plan on taking the country back? I hear other people say that, but still not sure what that means. That's a fair question, Wilma. What that looks like is like D-Dog says, first step is to start to get to know your local sheriff. That is probably the most critical step. And there's other groups out there like us who are also, putting stuff out there like Affidavit Mamas. A lot of people out there that are trying to get involved and do the right thing and make the right moves to get us on that track of taking our country back. But we can't sit idly by any longer and do that. It's at a critical point here, and I'm not trying to burst anybody's bubble. I'm not trying to beat up on any of the panelists tonight. They have their views and their opinions, and I have mine. I pray to God that that we're all wrong, but I just, man, every day that ticks by, like Jeff says, tick tick tick, tick tock tick tock. I mean, what are you going to do when January comes and goes? What are you going to do when February comes and goes? I like the thought of planning for the worst and hoping for the best. That's my theory. And what is planning for the worst? Well, planning for the worst means TA is not coming back, and we got to plan on what do we do now, which I've been saying for quite a while. You got to get involved, and then hoping that something does change. But I don't know. I'm not. I told you guys this clear back when they moved the goalpost clear back in frickin' 4th of July or a little time after that. I'm not holding my breath on any of this stuff. I will no longer hold my breath because I just know that tomorrow is going to bring another date. Tomorrow is going to be another excuse. Oh, it's a chessboard. Oh, it's it's just not working. Sorry, folks. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but I am not giving up. I'm changing firing positions. It's just like when YouTube takes us down. What do? We don't just fold up our tents and go home. We change our firing position. So that's what we got to do here. We've got to get involved. That I'm going to leave it at that. You gentlemen, if you got anything else that you would like to add, I'd love to hear it. But for right now, it's I'm reading the chat, and it's like a 50-50. I'm not the only one feeling this way. I'm not the only one feeling this way.
Well, I'll put it like this. I do believe 100% there's something going on in the background. Now, let's rewind the clock back to a congressional hearing when the Honorable Mr. Krebs stated in front of Congress, when he was asked the question, were the machines hooked up to the internet? And the Honorable Krebs said, no, they were not. And they proved us. Why wasn't he held in contempt of Congress? And why hasn't there been a hearing about it? Because we can unequivocally prove that these machines were hooked up to the internet. There is no doubt. And it's not by anything that Mike Lindell showed. I mean, there's video of the voting machines hooked up. Hell, in our precinct, there were Cat 5 cables that went from our voting machine, and there were some with wireless cards. You don't need that stuff if it's not hooked up to the internet. So, at first, it started out, this was the safest and fairest ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And then the story changed to when all these anomalies started to come out. Oh, there was some, but not enough to change it. But no, the head of your Homeland Security stated there was no interference ever done. So then I have to reference you back to the executive order where it states if there is any interference, it's null and void. Why would you put that document in place if it was never going to be used? That's like somebody going and buying a car who has zero intentions of getting a driver's license and follows the rules and laws to a T. There was no reason for you to own that vehicle at all, and it just sits in your garage. So why would you go through all the legal loopholes, go through White House counsel, DOJ, everybody to create these documents if they're not going to be used? It makes zero sense. None whatsoever. Unless T was involved in the whole thing to buffalo the whole country. I don't believe that's the case. I truly do not believe that's the case. Now, I understand, Mike, where you're coming from, where everybody wants to see proof. I want to see the proof. But I look at things differently because I've been trained differently on how to look at things. Just because of the business I was in. Now, when I sit back and I look at all of you have 1, 2, 3 anomalies. They're coincidences. You have 5, 6, 7, 8 anomalies. There's something something going on, and it smells of a psyop. It does. I mean, look, all you have to do is look at the video conference that Joe Biden did with Vladimir Putin. The whole damn time Putin was laughing, the smug look on his face. It's telling. It's almost like Putin saying, I know that's not you, you dumbass. I mean, it's almost comical if it wasn't so sad. And no one in the world, if you look, has any faith right now in the United States. Zero.
No, I reported that. I reported that this morning coming out of China, Jeff. And let me tell you what they said in the article from China. So they were talking about Puddin' Pop making a statement that there is no federal plan for the sickness. Period. Made the statement the states you're on your own. So China came out and said that the administration is a failure, that it's laughable, that they don't have a plan for the sickness, and then even questioned our democracy. Questioned it. They called it dubious. What does dubious mean? Dubious means uncertain. Uncertain democracy. Yes, we are the laughing stock of the world at this moment in time. I don't disagree with that. What I question is I realize what your statement is about the internet being hooked to the machines and all that stuff. Why won't they show us the proof? And I know that they've tried to take it to the Supreme Court. So why is the Supreme Court denying it? Why are some of these smaller courts even denying that and not allowing it in the courts? Now, do I believe the court system is corrupt? Absolutely. But for crying out loud, man, when are we going to catch a break? When are we going to catch a break with the proof? I'm so frustrated and pissed off. Not at you, not at Shane, not at the people in chat. I'm frustrated that if the proof is there, which I believe there's a lot of proof, I don't disagree that there isn't proof. Okay. I don't understand, I guess, why the courts won't allow it. Why we're not, I mean, like Shane says, I mean, come on, reality. All the people that were in the recount there in Maricopa County this last go around. Why can't somebody pull a video? Why can't somebody have phones? Why isn't there something out there that shows us what was going on? That's what I don't understand. I mean, we talk about a Wuhan leak, but we can't have a leak on this. It's so tight. Come on.
Here's the thing. I don't even care if they show the Supreme Court. I don't care if the Supreme Court ever sees it. I really don't. Show the American people. Period. Show the American people.
Yeah.
Out to the people. To hell with the government. Put it out to the people.
Yeah.
Let the people decide what is going to happen, whether it be this coming election, or let the people decide where it goes from there. And I guarantee things will change. To hell with the Supreme Court. That's my.
I agree. Yeah, I'd be okay with that, Shane. Screw the court systems. If they could just put it out there on the big screen and go through it like Pillow Man did and start showing all that stuff to us. Here's the proof. Boom. Here's this video. We caught these people doing this, which we've seen some of that. Okay, we've seen some of that, but it seems like there's no traction there. There's no traction, and that's what pisses me off. Is where's our traction? Why isn't this catching momentum? You know, we talked about a certain county in Colorado that decertified. We talked about Wisconsin. We talked about Racine, Wisconsin, where they caught some misdoings there. And they talked about some of that happening in Michigan. But where is it? We hear about it. Now it's gone.
Well, I'm going to use one of my famous phrases. Let me walk you down a path. All right. And this path is going to be the path where, let's hypothetically say that sometime between on or before the night of the Big E in January 20th, let's hypothetically say that certain documents were put in place. And those documents were done. Okay? And I think we know what we're talking about. And let's say certain powers of the government were handed off to certain people as part of a continuity of government. And you walk into a courtroom or you walk into a judge's chamber and a judge advocate general shows up to a judge and shows the judge something from a FISA court. Says you will not hear this case under the guise of national security. Can't tell you what. Can't tell you why. Can't tell you who, what, when, where. But a federal judge in a FISA court signed a document stating that anything dealing with this will not be arbitrated under the guise of national security. Do I think that's what's happened? I tend to lean that way. And you figure that if any of this is true, and the powers that be, the outside influences, the Soroses, the Rockefellers, all these people, if they're truly in play, they've been doing this for 30 plus years. And the American people, for the most part, and some people down in Australia that have a vested interest in our country, they think it all should be over in a year. Because if you look at everything that possibly has to change, this would take a long time. And I am in the camp that with all of these weird planes, all of these anomalies flying to and from certain locations, all these planes that leave out of Alexandria, Virginia, the home of the Judge Advocate General Corps, and fly into certain areas, I have to believe that's what's going on. And I believe our government's a captured operation, and I believe it has been. And it may have been that since the day he walked through the White House doors, because they, even before he put his hand on the Bible and swore the oath, they were already trying to get rid of that guy before he even stepped in the door. Why would you do that? Why? Unless you knew what was going to happen. That's the only thing I can think of making any sense. Wait, and here's the topper. Are we going to see Joe Biden do a joint session of Congress a State of the Union speech, because granted, his State of the Union would have been when he put his hand on the Bible and took oath of office. So if we do not see a State of the Union, which is normally done January 20-ish, there's an issue. And that could be a telltale sign, but we thought a lot of this other stuff was going to be telltale signs as well. We haven't had our world tour. It just doesn't make any sense. And granted, there will be people out there that says, "Oh, it's because of the sickness." Bullshit. Because there are world leaders traveling all over the place and not worrying about that damn sickness. And if you believe that's what it is, then why do these political leaders, as soon as they think the cameras are off and no one's looking, those damn masks come off?
Yeah. I when you analyze stuff, Jeff, I definitely can see your lens. So I guess we know that there are things out there that have been said. Um, so I guess I ask this question: When is it the point that you know that 2024 is going to be a battle for our ever living lives, which I felt like 2020 was, but now for me, it's looking like 2024 is going to be a huge battle. Um, when is that going to be a point for you? What is going to be the point for you where you say, you know what, um, man, 2024, here we come, because there's just nothing that can turn us back at this point. Um, I know that I
Well,
heard tell. I know that I heard tell Jeff that what was it? I told you this the other day. Something has to happen, and it has to take. And maybe this will give some people hope. Maybe it won't. It has to take 23 to 24 months before a certain thing can happen, so that they can basically say that this term is illegitimate, which would give somebody another term, so they could finish 24 months, and it would be considered not a full term, so then they would get another one. Do you believe in any of that stuff?
absolutely not. That to me that doesn't make any damn sense,
Okay.
because if you are in the military's eyes the rightfully sitting president and commander in chief, I don't give a shit. I don't think there is one general, one admiral that would sit in a room and say, "Mr. President, the country's going to shit, but we want you to hold out another 3 months
Yeah.
so we can get you in there for a full term." That don't make any damn sense. That sounds
Okay.
like somebody reading something off of one of these National Enquirer websites that comes up with that. Where do if we, and this is where I think everybody should draw the line and damn near have a revolution. If we get to the voting booth in 2022 and not a damn thing has changed, the country's gone. Because that means that executive order that was put in place with nothing behind it for somebody to have the Cueves to come out and say, "We're doing that." Because if we get to the voting booth, there's an issue. Because Donald John Trump said that the election was stolen. If that's the case, and we get to 2022 and one person pulls the arm of that machine, try his ass for treason. Try anybody in his orbit that come out and spewed it, try their ass for treason.
That was the only date that I would put out there was midterms of 2022. You get to that point, you're not changing anything. Uh, which I think that's a gracious time that I've given them, to be honest with you. But that's the only time that makes sense to me. Once you get to that point, there ain't no coming back from that. I don't care who you are. So a lot of people will say, well, then how are we gonna make this all work? You're
Well,
gonna have to
and
roll
look,
your sleeves up and go to work.
well, look. I did this months ago, and people were calling me crazy then about people losing support for T. Oh, no, no. Well, you're starting to see it. And I also said this, if you roll the tape back, people come the next E will not vote if they believe in what T said. The election was stolen and your vote didn't count. The American people will not exercise their constitutional right to go be. That's it. And you're seeing it in the chat. People are like, I won't vote. I won't do it.
Yeah, I see some of that too. I'm still gonna cast it. I can't just not do it. I don't care if they turn around and throw it in the trash. At least I can sleep at night and know that I did place it. I can't stop that. I can't give that up. So, Shane, you've been awful quiet. We've hit some pretty harsh subjects tonight, and I know a lot of people don't like me for it, but it's nice to have your voice of reason. It's nice to have Jeff B give us his take because a lot of people follow it and enjoy it, and I like hearing what he has to say. I try to see what he's seeing. Sometimes I do, and then sometimes um, it's kind of like Maricopa County. I just where the hell is it? Where the hell
No
is it?
shit.
Where
Yeah.
the hell is
Where's
it?
it at?
So where's it at? Just drive downtown Maricopa County, block the main drag down there, throw a bunch of fold up tables up, and just start showing us the damn proof. I'd be good with that. What do you think, Shane?
Ain't going to happen. I mean, it's wishful thinking, but no, and I don't think people hate you for it. I think they hate the topics because it's very controversial topics, especially when most of us can only speculate what's written in the law. So we're going off what we've heard over the last 9 months, and some of it is accurate, some of it isn't, and we get the two confused together. So it makes it a very sore subject for everybody because no one has the true facts. But no one's in the upper echelons putting out any facts worth listening to that are truthful. Now, how do I know if they're truthful or not? Discernment on my end. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm going to tell you what, I won't believe anything that CNN puts out. So I think it's just the topic that's there, and then we try to go by what we hear, and a lot of times that's not, or you mishear it. I'm guilty of that myself, or I misquote it. Very guilty of that myself. So it can cause a lot of aggravation with people when they think they know it, and then come to find out it's not quite the way they found it, or they heard it. Because I get that way. So
Well, I don't mean any, and I want to be very clear. I don't mean any disrespect to you, Shane, or to Jeff B tonight, or to anybody listening, watching, or chatting. I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just trying to ask some hard ass questions. I think they need to be asked. Does Jeff answer them? I think Jeff answers them to the best of his ability. Some of them I think he answers very well. I can't answer all the damn questions. I know you can't answer all the damn questions. Shane, nobody in chat can answer all those questions for me. I guess my biggest hangup, bar none, my biggest hangup. We can talk about planes. We can talk about executive orders. We can talk about all kinds of stuff, and I can listen, and I can see things through Jeff's lenses, your lenses, and everyone else's. But my biggest hangup, you want to know what sticks in my crawl? What sticks in my crawl is Maricopa County and the audits. That's what sticks in my damn crawl. That's what I'm pissed off about. Is where the hell is it? You want to know what pisses LW off? Show us. If you have it and you have it all and you caught them all, I almost dropped the F bomb there. Frickin' show us. Frickin' show us then. It doesn't have to be in court. I'll be satisfied with however you want to show us, but show that to me and I'm all in. But at this point, I'm just kind of sitting there at the edge of my seat saying, if they can't show us, we're in trouble. That's the reality of it, folks. We can talk about all this other stuff all you want and the possibilities, and I'm okay with that. But until they can show us Maricopa County, until they can show us all the stuff that happened in November, that's what sticks with me. I can do all this other stuff, but that's what really has got me pissed off.
Well, and I'll leave this as my final thought, and then I have some other stuff I have to attend to. But think about it 200 years ago when our founding fathers sat down and created this document, and they were able to forecast tyranny, and they were able to forecast the corruption of government and tyranny upon the people. I mean, just that document alone, for these gentlemen to be able to sit down and create this document, it's almost like they can't believe I'm going to say this. They were like time travelers in a
Yeah.
sense
Oh,
to know
yeah.
what the usurpations that we were going to uh, to go that were going to happen in the future. Now, fast forward it 200 years with all the technology, all the intelligence, all the sources, all the methods that we have of gathering intelligence, and nobody could get in their head that they foreseen this coming and they planned for it. To me, it's not a far stretch. And we have certain agencies in McLean, Virginia, certain agencies in uh, Fort Meade, Maryland, that's their job. And these guys are patriots. They love their country. They love that flag. And I am going to be in the camp until somebody walks on that damn TV or the talks on the radio and says, "We got you, suckers. You guys fell for the biggest dupe ever. And you guys are screwed. And it's time to start saluting the Chinese flag." I do believe that these guys got it. They know it. We don't predict the end of a war. We never have. Uh, and I think we just have to let it play out. Now, not saying that we're going to get to 2022 and old Jeff B's going to be one pissed off camper and say, "How the hell did you guys let this happen? I could have got a first grader to run an operation better than this." But I don't think we're going to get that far. And hopefully on the 6th, when we have dueling speeches about the events that took place 365 days ago from that date, we'll have a little bit more guidance on where this country is going. But I truly, truly believe that they nabbed these suckers because there's just too many breadcrumbs out there that lead me in that direction.
Yeah, you shared pretty much almost every one of them with us, Jeff, and we appreciate that. We appreciate your view of things and how you come in here and you try to just share it with us. I appreciate it. I know everybody listening right now and watching appreciates it too. And like I mean, no disrespect to you or Shane. I just gotta ask. I gotta ask some damn questions because there's a lot of people out there wanting to ask the same questions.
Yeah. And, for the people in the chat say maybe they're still investigating January 6th. There was never an investigation done. All you have to do is think about that. Somebody goes in and shoots something up, and there's crime scene tape up for 3 or 4 days. Never seen it. That's just another cog in the wheel that makes no sense. But with that, gentlemen, you guys have a good night, and we'll see you again.
All right. Thanks for jumping up, Jeff. Appreciate it. Have a great
Yep.
night.
Thanks. Yep.
Thank you.
It's always nice to have oh, you want me to kick you out? There you go. All right. It's always nice to have Jeff's perspective of things. I try hard, but I have to ask what's inside here, or I can't sleep at night. So I have to get out whatever's on my chest. It feels good to get it off my chest. And the thing is I really feel like there's a lot of people in that chat that can really feel what I'm saying tonight. And it's good because then they kind of feel like we're in this together. And then for those who want to believe the other direction, that's okay too, man. I'm all right with that. I'm not here to beat you up. If you guys want to continue to believe in it, and that's okay, man. I really hope I'm wrong, to be honest with you. But I have to ask those questions that are just weighing on me. That's bottom line. Shane, your final thoughts?
Yeah, anytime there's a lot of questions unanswered, people got to ask questions because if not, it just once again it causes confusion and doubt. So you got to ask the question, even if you don't hear the answer you want. At least you've asked the question. You've asked it. May not get the answer you want, but that's how.
Yeah, I don't always get the answers that I'm looking for either, and I know a lot of the listeners, when I ask certain questions and I ask them for a reason, they don't like the answers that I get sometimes either. Some people ask for my opinion, and they may not like the opinion that I give, but I got to be real to myself. I got to give my honest opinion, or I'm not doing any of you guys listening to me or watching me any good if I just go with the flow. I got to give you my truth, my honesty, and I thank you all for listening. Shane, your final thought, and then I'll give mine. We'll wrap this up and get out of here for tonight.
Pretty much give you my final thought. Like I said, we just got to do the best we can to start visiting with our elected officials in our local communities and kind of start pinpointing who's good and who's not and voting them out, getting them out of office, getting somebody in that's good. It's the only thing we can do. Like I said, if we start doing that now, no matter which way this goes, we're already in a step in the right direction. So anyway, that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that, Shane. Here's my final thought. I appreciate everybody tonight watching, commenting in chat. I appreciate Jeff being here. I appreciate you, Shane, and giving your views of things. And no matter what, don't ever think that I'm giving up, because I'm not giving up. I'm just I got to look at things from every angle that I possibly can. I'm never going to leave you guys. I'm not going to leave you alone. No matter who's right or who's wrong, I'm still going to be here. I hope that a lot of what I see I'm wrong about, but and gladly eat the crow. And I'll still be here with you guys. And you can even shake your finger at me and say, I told you, and I'll be all right with that. But if I'm right on some of the things that I see, I can guarantee you I'm not going to shake my finger at you. I'm just going to embrace you. And it's going to be tough for all of us, no matter who's right or who's wrong. This is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And so I'm here with you, and God's here with us. Don't ever forget that. I am 100% in belief that it's in God's hands. No matter what it is, He will prevail. His plan will prevail, and that is bottom line for me. No matter what. So I'm gonna go ahead and pray us out. That's my final thought. I'm gonna go ahead and pray us out. A special prayer tonight. Before you leave, please hit that like button if you don't mind. Help us out with the algorithm. But a special prayer for a special brother tonight, Matt Tactical Tonto. He's been ill for several days. Tammy reached out to him, and he got back to her and said he just got home. I think he's been in the hospital for a minute. It's not the sickness, it's something else. But I just want to put that out there for you prayer warriors to pray for Matt Tactical Tonto. He could use some extra prayers tonight, him and his family. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. Check us out, libertywarriornation.com. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you in this hour of need, especially myself, Lord. I'm just looking for wisdom. I'm looking for the truth, Lord. I'm looking for the answers that I might share those with everybody who follows us on all the different platforms, Lord. I just ask that you show that to us, that it is bold, it is pronounced, so there's no mistake. Lord, I pray for all the viewers tonight. I pray a hedge of protection around each and every one of them. I pray that they have wisdom and discernment, Lord. Most importantly, I pray that they have comfort in their hearts, peace and joy, Lord, as we struggle through these hard times. And we know that it is your will, Lord. It is your plan, and we will follow it to the T. Lord, I pray for my brother Matt tonight, for Tactical Tonto in Michigan, Lord. He's struggling with some health issues. It sounds like he just got home. Lord, I just pray for your healing hand to reach him, to touch him, and to heal him, and to bring him back to 100% strength, Lord, back to his old jolly self, so we can see his face back here on panel here real soon, Lord, be part of LWN. Lord, I pray for Shane. I pray for Jeff B. as they are traveling this journey with me, Lord. I pray for both of their protection, for their wisdom, Lord, for their advice as we are trying to analyze every situation and try to relay that to all of our viewers to encourage them that no matter what, it is all in your hands, Lord. I just pray this in your son's precious name. Amen and amen. All right. Check us out, libertywarriornation.com. You can fill out a prayer request there. We also have our merchandise there. We're getting ready here real soon. So if you haven't been to the website lately or to the store, Shane has got some coffee cups, and we are getting ready to put those in the store here really soon. And I can tell you, I took them down, Shane, or I would have showed them. So if you tell me tonight, I'll show you the coffee cups tomorrow night because they are truly amazing. They're really cool, and we're going to have those in the store. I'd say by the end of the week. They should be up by the end of the week. So that's really amazing. You can contact us at libertywarriornation.com as well. And as always, we love you all. We have you. We hope you have a great night. And here we go, Shane. So we will be back tomorrow evening right here on Liberty Warrior Nation on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain Time. And Shane?
5 Pacific.
All right. Love you all. Have a great night.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. Can you tell me the secret of how you can take it or leave it? How you can blend in with the crowd? I'm so scared, so damn afraid to look. I'm so sick of talking. I'm wearing the words out, words out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. When it feels like everyone's out to get me, I see the river on the back of my eye.